You ever wake up on a Saturday morning, walk outside in your slippers, and see a giant white tent being set up on your lawn? No? Well, that's what happened to me. And by the end of the day, the HOA was crying, the bride was screaming, and I had demolition crews tearing it all down. Because this is the story of how they tried to rent my house for a wedding without even telling me. It started Friday night. I noticed a few unfamiliar cars parking around the cul-de-sac. Didn't think much of it, maybe a birthday party. But the next morning I looked out the window and saw strangers walking into my backyard. There were men in suits setting up chairs, women putting up floral arches, and a caterer walking into my garage like it was their prep station. I stepped outside, totally confused. I said, "Excuse me? Can someone tell me what's going on here?" This woman in heels with a clipboard gave me the fakest smile ever and said, "Oh, don't worry, sir. The wedding will be over by 6 p.m. and we'll clean up after. The HOA said it was fine." I said, "The what said what now?" She replied, "The HOA gave us permission. They said the owner was out of town." I said, "Lady, I am the owner, and I live here." That smile on her face disappeared real fast. I called the HOA president immediately. He didn't pick up. So I marched down to the clubhouse myself. He was there, and get this, he didn't even deny it. He actually said, "You have such a lovely property. It would have been a shame to waste it. We assumed you were on vacation like last summer." I said, "Assume again. You booked my house for a wedding and took payment for it?" He tried to shrug it off like it was no big deal. "It's just a community event," he said. I said, "Then why are you pocketing the rental fee from a private wedding?" He didn't answer. That's when I saw the event flyer. With a big bold title, "Wedding at the Lakeside Estate, hosted by HOA." My address was right there, with my name listed as a community partner. They forged it. So I made one call to a demolition crew I'd hired earlier that month to tear out my old shed, but I told them to bring the big stuff. I returned home. Guests were arriving. The bride was already in the driveway taking photos with her bridesmaids. The music was playing. They were serving cocktails to people on my lawn. I walked straight up to the DJ and said, "Turn it off, now." He looked at me confused. The bride came over yelling, "Who do you think you are?" I said, "I'm the owner of this house, and this wedding is officially over." She screamed that they'd paid thousands. I said, "Good. Send the bill to the HOA president. He's the one who scammed you." Right then, 2 trucks pulled up, big ones. Out came demolition crews with orange vests, sledgehammers, and chainsaws. Within 5 minutes, the tent was down. The decorative arch, gone. The tables and chairs, tossed into the rental truck. The HOA president arrived finally, red-faced and sweating, begging me to stop.